What's up, y'all? You're watching Union Minded. I'm your host, Eric, and today we're going to be talking about the Weingarten Rights. What are they, and why does it matter? You may have seen a meme with Weingarten Rights on it on your social media. I never really bothered to look further into it, but it goes along the lines of this: if you're asked by your employer to be interviewed in an investigatory matter, like let's say they want to talk about your work conduct, and you feel like that conversation could lead to you getting reprimanded or getting terminated, this is what you would say, something along these lines. If this discussion could in any way lead to my being disciplined or terminated or affect my personal working condition, I respectfully request that my union representative or steward be present at the meeting. Without representation, I choose not to answer any questions. I further request reasonable time to consult with my union representative regarding the subject and purpose of this meeting. I shall not consent to any searches or tests affecting my person, property, or effects without first consulting with my union representative. Now, this is a right that you have as a union member. If you are in a union, you do not have to answer any questions during an investigatory interview without your union representation. You can ask for your union representation, and by law, the company has to stop asking you questions and let you get a chance to talk to your union rep. How did it come about? Well, in 1975, the Supreme Court in National Labor Relations Board versus J. Weingarten, Inc. upheld a NLRB decision that employees have a right to union representation at investigatory type interviews. During an investigatory interview, the court ruled that the employee has the employee has to make a clear request for a union rep. When the request is made, the company has three options. They can grant the request. This means no questions until after the employee has had a chance to consult with the union rep. They can deny the request and end the interview immediately. Or they can give the employee the choice to go ahead without a union rep or end the interview. If the company denies the request for union representation and continues the interview anyway, they commit an unfair labor practice. The employee can refuse to answer any questions and not be punished for it. Now, like I said, these rights only apply to union members. During the Clinton administration, his NLRB broadened it to all workers, both union and non-union. And during the Bush presidency, he turned it back to only union workers get this right. So what is an investigatory meeting, right? We talked about that. Any meeting can be an investigatory meeting if a manager, representative of management, or supervisor is seeking to question an employee. The questioning is part of an investigation into the employee's performance or work conduct. The employee reasonably believes that the interview may result in discharge or adverse consequences to their job status or working conditions. The employee then requests union representation. Employers are not required to advise employees that they have these rights. So the employee has to ask for the representation, and the employer doesn't have to let him know that he has the right to do so. So imagine if you don't know that, your employer can pull you to the side and start asking you questions about your job performance and whatnot, and never tell you that you have the right to ask for a union rep. These are similar to Miranda laws. Like if a cop, is going to arrest you, they got to tell you you have the right to remain silent and all that stuff. So this is similar to that, only the difference is there's no requirement on the employer to inform the employee that he has Weingarten rights. What types of meetings are not considered investigatory? Trainings, right? When they bring you together to give you some trainings, that's not investigatory. Announcements of policy changes, where there is no risk of disciplinary action. And if the disciplinary decisions were already made and the meeting is just to inform the employee that he's going to be have some discipline applied to him prior to the meeting, then that's not an investigatory meeting. And if the employee is questioned as a witness, so if you're a witness to something else, that's not an investigatory meeting either. A meeting may start out as not investigatory, but evolve into a meeting that is. If you feel that's happening, ask for union representation. What can a union rep do during the interview? The union reps serve as advisors and witnesses during employee interviews. Employers are required to inform union reps as to the subject matter of the interview and allow time for that rep to meet with the employee prior to the meeting. During the interview, a union representative may ask the employer to clarify questions, give the employee advice on how to answer questions, but that has limits, and provide additional info to the employee after the questioning. They can also object to questions if they are badgering or intimidating or offensive. There's also limitations on what union representation can do during an interview. The union rep must remain civil and may not interfere with an employer's legitimate efforts to conduct the interview or the investigation. An employer may lawfully remove the union rep from a meeting if they engage in disruptive or hostile behavior. A union rep cannot tell an employee what to say and may not advise employees to give false information. That's your Weingarten rights in a nutshell. If you are a union member, you have these rights. By law, it was upheld in the Supreme Court. And so if you're on the job and someone wants to ask you questions about your work performance and you feel like it might go down an ugly road, ask for your union rep. That's why we pay dues, so that your union rep can come out to the job site and represent you. Union's up, right? That's why we union. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, if you like this video, please hit the like button. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share. We're trying to grow the channel, and slowly but surely we are. But we got to get the word out to working people, the different things that they have rights to, you know what I mean? And plus the history and everything else that we talk about on this channel. Leave any comments that you'd like. I read them, and I respond when I can. All right? Thanks again for watching. I'm Eric. You're watching Union Minded. And remember, the fight's not left and right. It's up and down, and it's going to take solidarity to win always. Peace.